Hello, croquet players. I am Tanya Mesher, one of the event managers for the state level croquet games, and I am so glad to be here to present how to do virtual competition in croquet. And we're so glad to have you, and we hope to have you back in person. And if we can't, though, we have these virtual rules. They're slightly different from last year, but we hope we've clarified them and made it a little easier. The court is going to be about half the size of a regular court. It's going to be 40 feet wide, which is normal, and 44 feet long. And usually it's 80 feet long. So what we're having you do is set up a half a court, and instead of turning around at the turning post, you're going to turn around at the center wicket. And we've given you the reason it's not just 40 feet is we're giving you the 4 feet extra to have some play, to turn around and play your wicket back through that center wicket. If you're setting up your own field, we recommend something that is as level as possible, and it should be grassy and hopefully in good shape. So the specific supplies you're going to need to play virtual croquet is just a partial croquet set, one ball. You can just choose your favorite color. Unfortunately, purple's my favorite color. They don't come in the set, but I've got an orange ball out here and an orange mallet. One starting post and 5 wickets. If you're doing your own court, you will need a rubber mallet to pound the starting post into the ground on your court. We found that if you try to do it with a croquet mallet, it sometimes breaks the croquet mallet. So a tape measure, you'll need a clipboard and a pencil so that you can score yourself with the virtual croquet score sheet. And then we need boundaries markers. It's not necessary to draw lines, but we're going to have markers on the corners and probably halfway on each side so that you can eye the boundary if you go out of bounds. As far as the playing itself, normally there's no score in croquet. The first 3 players to complete are the top 3 winners. So in virtual croquet, we had to come up with a scoring system, and we decided to count strokes. And in virtual croquet, we also are not going to have any concepts of awards for going through the wickets because everybody would get the same awards anyway. So you can't keep up with the number of strokes it takes for you to get through the course twice. It would be nice, you can keep score yourself, but it'd be nice if you had somebody helping you. And also too, there could still, if you do a stroke infraction or you hit a wicket, we still want you to play croquet properly, so those would be considered an infraction, and the stroke would still count, but you would need to move your ball back to where it was and go to your next stroke. And the detailed description of what the infractions are in the virtual rules. And just like in regular in-person croquet, for virtual croquet, you're going to have to go through each wicket from the proper direction and in the proper sequence in order for that wicket to count. Otherwise, you'll just need to keep accumulating strokes until you get through that wicket. And there's no penalty for going out of bounds. We just ask that you bring your ball back to the boundary line where it went out and just eye it with the markers and play it from there.
Hello, North Carolina Senior Games croquet players. This is Jonathan Bittner, and I am the co-event manager for Senior Games croquet at state finals, along with Tanya Mesher. And today I'm just going to be setting up the half court that we're going to be using for virtual croquet to show you how to get the setup done. All right, I'm going to just start out with the starting post, and then I'm going to start measuring off of that. Okay. So I've gotten the starting post into the ground already. I've laid out at least 14 feet of tape measure. Laid out the first 2 wickets, 7 feet and 7 feet from the starting post. Okay, so at 7 feet, I'll put the first wicket. And at 14 feet, I'll put out the second wicket. Okay, I'm continuing to set up the court for virtual croquet, the half court. I've gone ahead and I've done all 3 wickets in the turning post that go down the center of the court. The 7 feet, and then 22 feet, and then another 4 feet past the last wicket to mark the center line for one of the end boundaries of the court. And now go at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to measure 20 feet each way from there to mark these 2 corners of the court. So here's one corner, and then I'll get the other corner marked similarly in the other direction. All right, we're finishing up laying out the virtual court, the half court for virtual play, and we're positioning the 2 side wickets now. And what we did was we measured 19 feet up each sideline with a tape measure and used pencils with blue tape on them to mark those points. And that's 1 foot out in front of the second wicket here. And what Tanya did was measure a foot out in front to position that end of the tape measure there. Okay? Or a foot out behind it, I should say. And we're going to go out 19 feet. Okay. Now I'm going to play. I'm going to hit my ball through this virtual court. For positioning the ball, it's 28 inches from the starting post in line with wicket number 1. So I find the 28-inch mark right here. That's where the ball starts. That's 1 stroke.
Okay, I'm putting 1 stroke in front of wicket 1.
Oh, there's 2, 3, 4, and I cleared wicket 1.
So I'm marking wicket 1 out, and I'm putting a hash mark in front of wicket 2 as next wicket.
Okay, I cleared wicket 2 with 1 stroke.
So I'm logged that stroke in front of wicket 3.
Now I'm turning to the right, heading to the 3rd wicket.
Nice shot. So I put another one in front of wicket 3, another hash mark.
Oh, I hit it too hard. I went out of bounds. So
I'm logging a hash mark.
I'm just eyeballing it between these flags we conveniently put here, right? To put my ball back on the boundary line. And now I take another stroke. Ooh, too hard again.
So that's his 5th stroke in front of wicket 3. 6th stroke.
This is why I don't play competitively.
All right, 7th. All right. You have cleared wicket 3.
Thank you.
And I'm logging the stroke in front of the 4th wicket.
All the way up to here.
I'm logging the stroke. Logging another stroke.
Oh.
Logging another stroke. Another stroke. Ooh, did you make it through, John?
I cleared it.
Oh, proper sequence and direction.
I did.
So now we're going back towards the other court.
Right.
So play the ball from rest.
That's right, from rest.
So I put another strike through 4, and I record that in front of 5. Nice shot. So I record another stroke in front of 5. Another stroke. Another stroke. Another stroke. Hey, you have cleared wicket 5, right?
I have.
And that stroke, I marked through 5, and that stroke goes in front of your next wicket 2. And another stroke. And another stroke. Another stroke.
Oh, I touched the wicket. So that counts as another stroke. And I have to put my ball back where it was and go over.
Because you did a stroke infraction.
Oh well.
All right, so you cleared wicket 2. So I logged that stroke in front of wicket 1. Another stroke in front of wicket one. Another stroke in front of wicket one.
Oh.
It moved on its own.
It moved. And,
You were going to test for a
bridging,
ball.
exactly, and it didn't work.
It didn't work.
But now look what I have to do. I have to figure out how to hit this ball through the wicket
without hitting the
without
wicket. Well, let me
touching the
catch up
wicket.
with you first. I need to. You completed. You went through successfully wicket one. That is not bridged, and so I logged that stroke in front of the starting post, which is your next thing. Nice.
Nice. See if I can keep that up.
Oh, you did. That's kind of a push, wasn't it? Maybe.
Let's call it a push.
Let's call it a push. So I still count it.
As a stroke,
As
but
a
I have
stroke,
to put the
you
ball
have to-
back where it was.
Yeah.
Was that about where it was?
Yes. So.
Duh.
And you missed? Yay! So you leave it from rest.
I
So,
take it from rest, and I'm going to go back through a second time. But we're not going to.
but
do that.
well, I wanted to point out that you always have to have your last stroke to finish your pass of the
Exactly.
game. So it's already written on your score sheet,
Mm-hmm.
and so we need to start the next pass from rest.
So I have to go back that way. Fortunately, it rested in a good place.
All right. So now I'm on the second pass of the score sheet, and I'm putting a hash in front of wicket one because that's his next wicket. Okay, does that count as your wicket?
No, I didn't go through in the right
Oh,
direction.
okay,
It
okay.
has to go that way.
Correct, okay.
This way.
All
Now I
right,
got it.
so now you cleared wicket one, and I put the stroke in front of wicket two. And I think we're good.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is go back up to the first pass and come up with a total on here. Just count the number of strokes in front of each wicket. We've got 3, 4, 11, 16, 17, 22, 27, 30, 35, 36. 36 strokes total for the first pass. So we would fill that in here. And then when we complete the second pass down here, we'll put a similar total in here and then add those two totals up, 36 plus this number here, to get your total for both passes through the course. And that's the score you'll submit.